Right, is this working now?
Oh,
There we
there we
go.
go.
What
There
is
we go.
Twitter
Now
about? Sorry about that, guys.
yeah, no worries. Honestly, we've done spaces several times here at StealthEX already. We do them quite often, actually, and it's a common issue. There's
Yeah,
always
sorry about that.
some. Nah, no
I'm just
worries.
on the
It's
speaker
fine.
now. I was on my AirPods, and then that didn't seem to want to work, so I was fiddling around with Bluetooth and all this nonsense. But yeah, well, I'm here now. Yeah, sorry
No,
about that.
no worries. That's absolutely fine. I was just rambling about our project and about introducing you as well, so
Oh,
people
thank you.
kind of where you what and what are you doing here. And looks like we have plenty of people on as of now, and I think we can move on to the questions. And if you
Hey.
want to give a short introduction of yourself to the people as well,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I was rather brief.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm Simon. I'm the co-founder of Proxima, which is a play-to-earn, free-to-play game, which is being built on Unity and using the MultiVAC blockchain, which will be released in December of this year.
Perfect. I think that's spot on. And let's move on to the questions. And as I mentioned earlier to the people who are already here, we have a surprise later on, and Kathy will be joining us later down the line and answering a few questions as well. But let's start it out and with the first one is a pretty basic one. It's about the name MultiVAC, and the person is curious about where does the name come from, why was it picked, and can you explain to everyone the meaning behind the name MultiVAC?
Okay, yeah, it's an interesting story. MultiVAC was actually a fictional supercomputer featured in quite a lot of science fiction novels by Isaac Asimov. So it's a depiction of a massive mainframe computer, and some people describe it as the direct ancestor, for all you science fiction geeks, of HAL 9000, which was the supercomputer in 2001: Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke.
Cool, that's great. I always love when there is a backstory to the name
Yeah,
rather just some random gibberish. Always super cool to hear that.
yeah.
And yeah, so I guess that's cleared up for everyone. Moving on, and it's getting a little bit more technical. How can developers and technical people contribute to MultiVac, and how do you make how what's your plan to get them involved essentially? Like
Well,
what is the initiative for them to
sure.
build on the platform?
Yeah, for us, it's the best thing that I would advise any devs is to head over to the MultiVac official Discord, where there's channels for developers to chat and discuss things that can be built. There's a lot of great apps and projects being built from the likes of MTV Block Scout, MTV Guru, MTV Swap, Multi Worms, Little Bits, obviously us ourselves. So yeah, basically, I would say sort of head over to there, and all the devs will be more than happy to help you uh, get involved.
That sounds pretty easy. And you yourself started as a community member, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, started off as a investor, and then we're going for it to build a new form of gaming.
No, that's perfect. And there's a lot of gaming applications planning to be built on MultiVac from my understanding at this
Mm.
point.
Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, there's some good projects out there.
No, that sounds rather cool. There's a lot of like play to earn projects out there, and I'm hoping we'll get to see the rise of them on the MultiVac platform as well.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And continuing about the benefits and what would be the benefits of taking part in the project ecosystem as from an investor standpoint? And does Multivac have liquidity mining or single site staking already, or is it
I mean,
somewhere in the works?
yeah, well, MultiVac has its own staking platform. Basically, they're just finalizing in the process of launching the new long-term staking option, which can be found on their website. And also, again, if you head to Discord, you can find out more information on that. Proxima as a game, we will be having staking on our staking platform. Will be launching August the 1st, and we will have liquidity mining, which will follow shortly after.
Right. Most projects will have those options available.
Yeah, I should think so. Yeah, there's plenty of different bits and pieces from other projects as well with staking, MTV Guru and also MTV Swap. They have staking and they have farms as well, all based on the MultiVac ecosystem.
No, this is fascinating. And continuing later on, and let's move on to more marketing side of things. And what are the marketing strategies, and how is the global adoption implemented on MultiVAC? Because adoption is definitely one of the most important things in the blockchain technology these
Definitely.
days. And yeah, it's a multi-part question, so let's just take it part by part.
Yeah, sure. Well, with MultiVac, the basic to spread across the globe is with the transactions per second, also with the block finality, uh, and the transaction cost being low. So it'll be they want it to be used for industrial applications on grand scales. So I think that's the best way that they will be able to spread and market.
Right. So generally, the target market sort of later down the line, big picture is the industrial, large scale,
Yeah,
large applications, large enterprise building their stuff on MultiVac.
exactly. Definitely with the transition from the old sort of systems. For instance, we all know with Swift, Visa, and things like that, but also things like packages. You know how DPD and things like that can track everything on the blockchain with
Hmm.
very low transaction costs and be able to store everything on the blockchain, which MultiVac is very well placed for.
No, this is great because I think a lot of projects these days they focus on more of a sort of smaller scale, smaller business, smaller owners, individual
Mm,
builders, rather than having industrial appeal sort of things, which is
yeah.
definitely a standout from the most. And continuing on this question is how is MultiVac intent on getting more users, community, and investments from all parts of the world, including the non-English speakers and communities? Because right, it's only a small part.
Yeah, well, obviously they have set up on Telegram many different channels for many different languages and for many different people. Obviously, the core team is based out in Singapore, so they have a great knowledge of the Asian space. There's a lot of fans, a lot of investors from all walks of life, all over the globe. So it's just a question of getting the right tech, getting it all finished and ready for worldwide adoption.
Right. Now, this is fascinating. And it's from my understanding, the website is currently available in how many languages? Because I haven't paid
I
attention
don't
to
have
it.
that figure right in front of me. I couldn't guess, but it's plenty. It'll. Most people in the world will be able to link up and have it in their own languages.
No, that's great stuff. Great stuff. And continuing on this question is there any ambassador or referral programs available as of now or planned ahead?
Not to my knowledge, and I wouldn't know what the plans are for that, but it's probably something that might come along later down the line.
Yeah, and it makes sense because ambassador and referral programs are usually directed towards more narrow markets and narrow use rather than if we're speaking global scale and large enterprise. That's not really what those companies usually look for
Yeah,
in
exactly.
in the technology adoption.
Yeah.
Well, and then moving on a little bit more of GameFi stuff, and I guess it will be a little bit more related towards your project,
Hmm.
Proxima. NFT GameFi projects are trending in crypto space. So, what are the various forms of multi-vac NFT plates used for, and where is it available for purchase?
Well, yeah. Well, MultiVac has a thriving NFT community and also plenty of GameFi projects currently that are being built, and like we mentioned earlier. To get a great idea, really, for what is out there, if you head over, there's a great marketplace currently called a Nifty, which you can find quite easily. And there you can see all the different NFT projects that are about. All the links to all the separate NFT projects are there that you can go over and do some research and see which ones you like.
And is this a native NFT marketplace
It
to
is
the
not a
blockchain?
native, no. It's a community run marketplace.
Okay, that's great. So there is a community marketplace that's already available,
Yeah,
which is definitely an upside to things.
yeah.
What would be the use cases for the NFTs and I guess GameFi projects, and what is the utility? Can you just trade NFTs through the building marketplace, or can it be used outside the games?
Well, at the moment for Nifty is a trading platform, kind of like OpenSea for multi-vac NFTs. If we're going to sort of talk more towards The Proxima, we basically have NFTs which will be used as characters in the game. With those, there's going to be an NFT rental system. So if you own a Proxima NFT, you will be able to earn passive income through that for when people rent them in the game. Also, with the Proxima token, we have ad shares, which will be in the game because it's free to play, staking platforms, and other things like that as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be multiple
Utility for the NFTs, yeah. It's not just a
cases for the
question of.
NFTs.
I know a lot of people kind of think, oh, NFTs are nice little pretty pictures and they don't really do anything, but especially in the GameFi space, we're trying to change that into.
Yeah, well,
you can use them.
It is more of a problem of education, I think, and just lack of it. Because people genuinely, they see a picture and they're like, "Well, this is a picture. And I'm paying for the picture," but they're just not aware about the use cases and the utilities they can bring to the projects.
Yeah.
And essentially, right? Because a lot of people only think of NFT as an investment that is going to inflate at some point, but which is definitely not always the case. And it's always super cool to see the projects that try to bring utility everywhere aside from
exactly. I think that's the next step for NFTs, to kind of get away from the public general perception that they're kind of digital art forms, whereas they can be used as, like I said, characters in games, tickets for concerts, and lots of maybe I'm not too keen on it, but digital IDs, things like that. I think NFTs will go down that space and become a much bigger part in everyday life.
Yeah, well, there is this talk about the soulbound tokens from Ethereum, which is definitely unlike NFT, you can't transfer it. So you mentioned form of identity, so this is definitely something that could be implemented later down the line. And
exactly, get rid of those scalpers.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely cool to see NFTs evolve, because it's still really new to the most people.
Yeah.
And people who've been in crypto for a while, like a lot of them, they don't even touch NFTs because it's just attracting so much traffic from the day-to-day people, like celebrities, right? It's huge for NFTs, and they just kind of I guess it is a bit more appealing to the general public who is unfamiliar with technology, because you can kind of it's a bit more tangible rather than some Bitcoin that you don't even know like what it is. For most people, they don't know the concepts of smart contracts and etc.
For sure.
And continuing on the NFT, sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. Let's carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, continuing on the questions, most NFTs games currently suffer a low player base due to expensive initial costs for a new player to take part in the game. And how is MultiVAC trying to address this issue and attract a large group of players?
Yeah, I mean, I think MultiVAC wouldn't be doing that, but from the perspective of Proxima,
yeah, right.
Obviously, you can play Proxima simply by playing the game. It's free to play. All you will need is a device and a gamepad controller. That is all you will need, and you can start earning Proxima tokens and rewards from entering into. We'll be having daily, weekly, monthly contests, high score contests, using different ships. So it's very low barrier for entry for our specific use case in our platform.
Yeah, this is fascinating, because there's a lot of projects like that's currently in the market. X Infinity, for example, Louisville, the entry costs are insane.
I know.
And then people still think about it from an investment perspective. It's like, I'm going to enter at this point, and then at this point it will become viable financially, and then they will get out a bit later on. But it's definitely a commitment. I'm not sure actually what is the current price for Axie to start.
It's down a lot. I think it's around about $12 or $13 last I checked. It might have bumped up today with I don't know whether it's a bull trap.
Yeah, well, it's definitely, but it's been really high a few months ago.
I think it was nearly $200, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry to butt in, Vanny. With our game, you can play the game with a standard playable character, a standard space fighter, where you don't need to spend anything, but you will be able to then go and rent one of our NFTs from one of the NFT holders in game if you want a little bit of extra power ups and things like that. But you don't have to pay anything to actually play the game.
No, this is cool. And if you could dive a little bit deeper on the game mechanics, because we briefly touched about it,
Sure.
because we know it's a space fighter game, but that's
Yeah.
as much as we've discussed. Yeah, if you
So
could
it's an
dive
old
in a little
school.
bit.
We like to call it retro meets the blockchain. So it's a 2D side scrolling shoot 'em up basic where you'll run through 12 different levels. You know, like a traditional game, you start the game off and you get to the end level bosses you defeat to rack up the high score, like the old sort of classic arcades. So that's the basic premise of it. Yes.
And you've mentioned contests. So what would that look like? Would it be a sort of a PvP type of thing, or is it like a high score contest, or
Yeah.
how
So
does
to start with, it'll be the high score contest. Yeah, it won't be PvP. It's a single player game, kind of like old school classic games like Gradius and R-Type, that kind of game.
Oh yeah, that's cool. And do you know of any other projects that are being developed on MultiVAC that are implementing the similar strategy when it comes to a play to earn situation? Such as
I'm
you.
not too sure. I know there are other game projects. Little Bits is one for everyone to check out, but I'm too hard at work on my own project to know exactly everything, and I wouldn't really want to comment on other people's plans with their game.
That makes sense. And you mentioned a few of them are being built right now. So I mean, I guess we'll be seeing a lot of them popping up in upcoming months.
Exactly, yeah. Because obviously, MultiVAC only released the mainnet last year, so that's with smart contracts and everything, when you could start really building the D apps. So I think there'll be a lot more popping up, and MultiVAC will have a burgeoning ecosystem full of great projects, full of great platforms, which will obviously be great for the adoption of MultiVAC itself.
Yeah, and I guess we've discussed it already. What makes it different from others is the low entry cost that are next to nothing, which makes a lot of games unappealing these days.
Yeah, the transaction costs, for, pardon me, on a blockchain like Ethereum, it would be very difficult for us to put our game on there, because we don't want all the money going in transaction costs. We want it going to the player and to the investors in our platform.
No, this makes total sense, and it's definitely cool to see people taking different approach to those kind of situations rather than just trying to copy paste what's already on there and capitalize on that.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I guess moving on, how can we earn this game? You already mentioned basically you play the game, you get you get your points, you get your NFTs, and you can rent them or whatnot.
Yep, there'll be login bonuses, things like that. You can also earn passive income by just holding your NFTs, which will receive 75% of the revenue, which will go to the NFT holder. 25% goes back into the ecosystem. Also, we have our own native token, which is the Prox token, which will entitle you to be able to stake, and that will be released on August 1st. Sorry. And also, we're going to be adapting an ad share program where ads, which won't disrupt the gameplay, but when you load up the game, when you switch from level to level, advertisement will play, and that money will then go into purchasing Prox token and for a buyback, and then those Proxima tokens will be distributed between NFT holders and Proxima holders and the ecosystem.
So there will be plenty of utility involved with the NFT itself, and it will be implemented in the way of Prox token, and then of course, it will be all within the MultiVAC ecosystem on the mainnet.
Exactly, because Prox token was minted on the MultiVAC blockchain.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks for clarifying that up, because I wasn't sure if you're going to have your own utility token aside from the NFT. And moving on to more technical stuff that I guess a lot of people who are in the industry and familiar with blockchains are interested in is what is the block finality, what is the current TPS now, any new VC involvement, and let's just take it step by step.
Yeah, sure. Block finality, from my knowledge, is within 3 seconds. They've successfully achieved 30,784 TPS. which is using 64 shards. With single shards, can reach up to 500, 550 TPS. For example, Visa can only handle 8,000 TPS, so it's very fast, very, very fast.
Right, and I guess sharding is the main kind of reason for all of that to be able to perform at such speed.
It's like a living organism. Sharding, it can duplicate and do things that normal things can't do.
No, that's definitely rather cool, and this speed is much higher than the traditional blockchains that we've seen these days. And I guess moving on to our next part of our session is that people are wondering that the core team isn't super interactive in social media, not getting much response, and hence wondering what's happening with the team. Where is Kathy, MTV, and CC, and could they clarify a bit the size of the team?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really comment on that fully myself. But from my knowledge, the team does speak to us as devs from time to time, and they're kind of just hard at work, basically securing and getting the audit ready so we can have node implementation. So it's kind of, I think they're just busy working away.
Right, and I will answer this part for the Kathy MTV. She will be joining us shortly, and let me just send her an invite because I don't see her in the lobby. But she will be answering a few questions as well, so you guys know that the Deuce and the team have not left the project. Give me a second here. What was her handle?
It's Kathy at MTV. I just received a message actually, and she says she's just updating her Twitter app.
Oh yeah, I'll send her an invite. Should be a second before she will be able to get in. Yeah, at any rate, while waiting for Kathy.
Yeah. We can carry on talking. She says she's going to join as soon as it's updated.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of covered the rest of the questions, so kind of we want to save the ones that she is allocated to. I guess we can take one community question for now, while Kathy is getting on. Whoever wants to speak, feel free to request, and I will give you the permission. Seeing quite a lot of people in the lobby. Oh, certain Harlton requested. Adding as a speaker. Hey.
Hi there. My name is Justin Harlton. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Well.
Yeah, I can hear you great.
All right. Well, anyway, anyone in Discord knows that I've been involved with Proxima since the beginning as an investor. And I'm just really excited for the game. I think it's doing a lot of innovative things, not just in terms of the gameplay, but how you integrate blockchain and play to earn and all that. So I guess what's really cool is that Proxima is kind of looking to the past and giving a nod to retro gaming, while at the same time trying to really bridge gaming into the next generation. And I see so much potential there, and I just know how hard the team has worked, and I just really wanted to give you guys a shout out and say thank you for all your efforts, and especially during this bear market. It's been awful for everybody, but MTV investors especially have felt a lot of the negativity. So thank you so much for the hard work, Martian Lord and your team. And I guess my question for you, Simon, is, you take on a lot of risk as a developer on blockchain, especially when the technologies you're relying on are just starting to develop. We don't necessarily have everything in place yet so that your game can thrive. You're also relying on NFT marketplaces. You're relying on a lot of other participants in the community to help you out. So what do you think would help most to make your life easier as a developer?
Unity SDK kit. That would be very helpful. We can do without it, but that would be very, very grateful. Something that Zill has just implemented is a software development kit for Unity.
Sorry for interrupting. If you could dive a little bit deeper on what is it for people who are unfamiliar with that sort of gaming development?
SDK. SDK is a software development kit. So basically, it's a lot easier to integrate the blockchain into Unity, which is the software that the game that we're making is built on.
Perfect. And thank you for a question, Halton. Is Kathy?
She's just messaged me on Telegram saying she's sorry, but her phone may not be connected. Is there another way?
Unfortunately, I believe Twitter Spaces only work with the phone app. It's weird. It doesn't allow you to speak via browser, so you need to get the phone up. Let me try to send him an invite again, maybe.
Are you on Telegram, Vadim? Could you help her? Because you probably know better than me.
Yeah, I can try to multitask a little bit, and then.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm trying to read messages. And
no worries, no worries. I'll just. There's another person who wants to ask a question, and we'll let this person do so while we try to get Kathy on. Mila, you've edited a speaker now.
I think Dan the man's listening. Maybe he could help Kathy. I'm calling on you, Dan.
I'm just trying to find Kat. Yes, we can hear you.
My question: what step did you taken for your project? In what years was your project launched? And what language did you use for your team? Can I speak a language other than English?
I missed some of that. It was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I was breaking up a little bit, but if you want to say it again, so we can make sure the.
Can you just give me 1 second to put my AirPods back on? I might be able to hear better then.
Like, if you could repeat the question, that would be fascinating.
Is it my question?
Yes, can you please repeat the question?
What step did you take for your project? In what years was your project launched? And what language did you see for your team? Can I speak a language other than English? Or can you share the tokenomic and utility details of your tokens?
Okay, thank you. I think we got this now. So basically, I guess did you hear him, Simon? Yeah, so I guess there's some technical problems as well, but I guess the question was mainly directed towards what is your token and is the game available in different languages? That's pretty much the gist of it. And your microphone is on mute right now.
Okay,
Simon.
Cool. Here I am. I'm back again. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a PRX token. The game will be available in other languages, but it is an incredibly easy game to play. It's just a question of picking up a gamepad or picking up a keyboard and playing the game. So yeah, that'll be that. And I think was he asking what? He wasn't asking what it was built on. The language was built on, just in terms of menus and things like that. Yeah.
I think it probably could have been both. So let's just answer both.
Yeah.
To make
Okay. So C++, Unity is the game engine, and I think he said is the game out now. So no, it's not quite out now, but it's being released December of this year.
Perfect. And I'm seeing Kathy is on, so we will let her speak. If you could introduce her for the people
so
who may not
here we have, fingers crossed, the lovely Kathy from the MultiVAC core team. So I'll take it over to you and listen in intently.
Kathy, I'm afraid your microphone is muted as well.
So maybe she might have my problem. Oh, there you go. Boom.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Kathy.
Hey.
I'm sorry for my late.
That's okay.
No problems. There's always
Better
issues
late
with
than never,
today's
is what they all
spaces.
say.
Exactly. And we're still good on time. So, let's move on to the questions that people were asking you. And could you provide a simple description of MultiVAC for the community? And what is the motivation for start building on MultiVAC?
Okay, it's very nice to be here. I would like to introduce MTV to you and tell you about the motivation behind MTV. MultiVAC is a high-performance, flexible public chain based on trusted sharding computing. It has carried out the underlying technological invitation of four-dimensional sharding of computing, storage, and transmission. It is also an elastic and flexible framework. MultiVAC proposes a probability model for selecting sharding nodes. It is based on a verifiable random function and applies this model to k-links such as blockchain transactions, computations, be achieved with the participation of a group of nodes with extremely high reliability. Establishing MultiVAC is that the founders of MultiVAC
Kathy,
are
you're breaking
technology
up a little bit.
designing a better performing chain and building the next generation. Having an idea is a common thing, but actually designing an idea so that it can become a reality is not easy. Fortunately, after 4 years of continuous efforts, MultiVAC has reached what it is today. I can proudly see, led by Professor Sean Yin, the team came up with this idea, designed it, and programmed it to be a fact. That's all I want to say about this question.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Thank you for this comprehensive answer. Let's moving on, and you've already touched a little bit on that matter. So will MultiVAC have an advantage with sharding since it's built in its original code versus Ethereum having to find its way to insert it into their code with rollups and everything? So what would be the advantage? We'll have more security, and it's a great first mover advantage, but it's behind in adoption, obviously, so it's needed an edge. Could you please elaborate on that question? Thank you.
Okay, MultiVAC does not have a beacon chain system and is a highly distributed sharding architecture, which means that the expansion of the MultiVAC system is easier. We have also made a lot of innovations and improvements to the underlying architecture. As its technology from 8 years ago, we believe that auto-replace Ethereum is not a better Ethereum, but a more advanced design like MultiVAC. We are designing a better development paradigm and redefining the underlying system of the blockchain. MultiVAC has considered cross-chain, DeFi, and other application scenarios in the process of research and development. So we have a better infrastructure. For example, the current DeFi system has been attacked by preemptive trading robots, and MultiVAC has taken these factors into consideration in its design. So I believe that in the future, MultiVAC is the best platform more suitable for high frequency and high speed applications such as DeFi.
Thank you
That's
so
all.
much. Thank you so much, Kathy. And one last question for you is about the long-term and short-term type investment. It's almost 80% investors have just focused on price of MTV token in the short term instead of understanding the real value of the project. Can you tell us about motivations and benefits for investors to hold the token for a long term?
The blockchain can be a tough and often fickle industry. People tend to make easy money from it without spending too much time. However, MultiVAC is supposed to invest more time in order to achieve our ultimate success. What MultiVAC can do is to insist on innovation, just like it has been insisting on for the past 4 years. And there is no doubt that MultiVAC will continue to insist on innovation. Our way to ultimate success, regardless of the amount of MultiVAC investors hold, and without the need for a supercomputer. Every investor can get the mining rewards of MultiVAC. And we will launch an additional reward plan for long-term staking in the near future. Finally, I just want to say that investors should be perspective on the big picture. We are not just investing for now, but investing in the future now. Yeah, that's what I want to see about this question.
Great, Kathy. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know it means a lot for the community, and that was really great answers for all those questions. They were very comprehensive, and I'm sure they were answered in full. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we still have some time to
Thank you, Kathy.
grab some more community questions. So guys, feel free to request, and we can take some more questions. We have about 18 minutes left. Okay, there is someone. Hey there, your microphone is currently muted. Make sure to turn it on.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Martian Lord, how are you?
Oh, not too bad, thanks, bro. How are you?
Good, man, hanging in there. So I do have a few different questions, like one for Kathy and one for you. I'll start with one for Kathy.
I think Kathy's not. That's it for Kathy. You just got me left.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
I think she has to leave. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's only Simon.
Gotcha. Well, that's fine as well.
I'll help. I'll try.
I mean, like, my main question would have been for her is just like the community and like transparency and just like getting the community's voice out there. Like we all know there's a lack of communication there, and like other chains, like there are forums that we can go on and talk to. You can see the interaction between the dev team and the project being put on there. And like I would love to see MTV have like that open source where all of us can see the interactions and like what's going on behind the scenes. It gives us as investors a little bit more confidence in projects and MTV as itself.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you, and I feel that's more than likely will happen once MTV has got through the audit and the nodes are up, and there's more to speak about, and there'll be more engagement then.
Yeah, because I just like there's certain projects like Armored Crosses Finance that came and left. Like I'm still scratching my head about how we lost them because like they're over there on Aurora and just doing a fantastic job if you kept following on them. And it's like certain projects that just like bummed me out a little bit on MTV, and not flooding at all. Like I still hold MTV bags. Big supporter of procs. Like I love the tech and like it's a smooth system to run on. So that's like my biggest concern.
Yeah, I agree. And but, people come, people go, and hopefully when things are really ready, the people will stick around.
And so my last question would be about the upcoming mints on Nifty. Like I'm not sure what happened between like MTV art, like Nifty was kind of disappearing, then MTV art came out and kind of flopped. Now Nifty's like, no, hey, we're here, we're back. Like what's going on? What's the flip-flop here? It's very confusing for me.
Well, yeah. I think obviously there were some issues that happened with MTV Art surrounding who was actually involved with it and their reasons for being involved with it and where they wanted to do it. And I don't really want to go into that because obviously it's got nothing to do with Proxima. And I think that the guys at Nifty worked their socks off and they didn't really get any acknowledgement. And now they're going to start to get more acknowledgement because they're our savior in terms of the NFT community built on the MTV ecosystem. They're communicating a lot better now. They're communicating more. Recently, they had a bit of downtime. As soon as the morning came, it was back up and working. So from Proxima's perspective, we're going to get behind them, just as how we're going to get behind the MTV Punks community with the issues that they've had there. You're always going to get some nefarious characters here and there, and you've got to look out and try and support the good people in the space.
No, I got you. I love the NFT platform. I just remember the last minute there was an issue and communication dropped off. But as long as they're back in full swing and communicating and producing, I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, this is why we held back the mint until now, because we just wanted some assurances. We wanted to be able to talk to them. We've got a separate chat now where we can contact them if there's any issues and everything. So we're confident that it's going to run smoothly.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
No worries, bud. Thanks
Thank
for
you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. We still got time for a couple more. So if anybody inclined to ask anything, feel free to raise your hand. And then again, I want to thank Simon and thank Kathy for joining on today. It's been awesome and a pretty comprehensive session so far.
Thank you for hosting, Vadim. Thank you for having us on.
Pleasure is all mine, as they say. But at any rate, let's hang on for a couple of minutes in case there's anyone
else. I got a question for you, though.
Sure.
So, what are we going to do to make StealthEX have mainnet MultiVAC? We've got to have a little plan for that.
Yeah, so we've basically...
That's what the community wants.
Because to give you a little bit more information about us, we grab liquidity through different outlets, including several DEXs and SEXs. So basically, we grab liquidity through them. And the problem, we usually, because we partner with them, we partner with Uniswap, we partner with Binance, we partner with BTC, etc. And usually, if the project, the coin, etc., has a good standing and generally is available, we can persuade them into including on the centralized exchange, decentralized exchange. But the main problem is liquidity. Liquidity is always one of the cornerstones when it comes to adding newer projects. And unfortunately, right now, as we speak, the market situation is not very inclining to bring new projects. But yes, exactly. But we are definitely looking forward, and we always try to kind of be on the top of things when it comes to new prospective projects that can be used for swaps and because turns out instant swaps, we've been on the market for quite some time since our project is existing since 2018, and before DEXs even were a thing. And right now we're facing the sort of a new generation of crypto people, and they are not familiar how the sort of swapper like ours operate. And we are non-custodial. We don't require any KYC. You can just go in there, plug in your wallet, and there you go. You will be swapped, and the fees will be kept to the possible minimum for the liquidity providers, right? So if coin is available on different centralized exchanges and DEXs, you will be granted the best rate. So it's definitely, and I guess the main thing about us is being anonymous, and what makes it so appealing for a lot of people, because you don't need to register. You don't need anything. You just plug in your wallet and you just send your tokens, and we sort of act as a proxy between a user and a centralized exchange per se.
That's awesome.
But so basically, we're always on the lookout to adding new coins and prospective projects, and partner with projects that we think can bring value, real value, not just some sort of pump and dump thing, but value and educate people. And that's why. And I really appreciate you guys coming along today, because we just chatted with you on the MultiVAC Discord, and we just kind of why not, let's do this. And I think it's been super helpful for both communities. Same for StealthEX and MultiVAC.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
apart from the technical issues at the beginning.
Yeah, so it looks like there's no more questions as of now. So if you have any closing words that you would like to say before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I'd obviously like to thank you again for having Proxima on. I'd like to thank everyone that's shown up, everyone that might
Oh,
listen
hold
to
on.
it afterwards.
Looks like we have one
Okay.
more question. Do you want to take one more?
Yeah,
We still
cool.
got some
Yeah.
time. Well,
Yeah.
let's go. Invite Ed as a speaker. Chain block champ. Hello. You are connected. Just turn your microphone on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, I
can hear you well.
Hey, great job today. Thank you so much. Just really excited to hear all of this and learn. I learned quite a bit today. And I just wanted to maybe just make a comment, maybe a little bit of a comment / question. And I see Kathy is still listening. And so this is just maybe, I think what you just did today is going to raise such great awareness for your project and for this project. And I think I would love to see Kathy and Sean take on that same mentality for MultiVAC, because I know one of the issues listed earlier that you discussed was, hey, when there's more liquidity or when things are ready. And I totally get, like, when the audit is done and the tech is ready, then absolutely, like, that's when you really kick things into high gear. But for Kathy, who's still listening, there's still absolutely no reason to be fully silent. I think it's and no FUD. I really think that this type of stuff does so much benefit to keep people interested and to drive awareness and to drive investors and liquidity, which can then ultimately help speed everything up with the mainnet, with the MultiVAC, mainnet and the project itself. So I would just say kudos to you for doing such a great job of communicating today and articulating the benefits of your project. And I think MultiVAC could learn from that. And I think it would actually help a lot of different things. It would help the community. It would help attract new investors. It would help retain existing investors. So just sort of maybe just a comment, I guess, but I wanted to share that because I do see Kathy still listening, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of probably a lot of people. So thank you so much for doing this, and I'll go off mute now.
Oh, thanks for that, man. I appreciate the words, and I'll just kind of add to that. It was great for Kathy to come on. It's a big step. Obviously, yes, she's been with MultiVAC for a while, but in the crypto space, we're not exactly in the best of times. We all know as MultiVAC investors and followers of the issues with certain influencers, casting aspersions, talking a lot of, I don't want to swear, but you know what I mean. And I'm hopefully that people can be kind, and we can coax the core team to communicate more with us all, with devs, holders, investors, people even just remotely interested that have no skin in the game, and we can all build one sort of big happy family. That's what I hope, and today is hopefully a good start.
Well, thank you so much for your words, and I think it's been a very productive session for everyone. I hope people were heard, people's questions were answered, and it was a pleasure chatting with all you guys. And thank you, Kathy, for coming on as a special guest today as well. And just a heads up, this session is of course recorded, and we will pop a YouTube video. So for future reference, it will be available on StealthEX YouTube channel. And there will be a link and everything. I'll make sure to share it with you guys on the community channels of MultiVAC. And I guess it's a wrap. It's been a pleasure, and thanks everyone.
Thanks very much, buddy. Take care. Speak to you soon.